Hello everybody, I'm so sorry that no video has yet to go out. It will be going out very soon after this video is uploaded. I do promise that will be the case. I have got 3 parts. Unfortunately, I've had some issues with my computer again, so I've had to do it into 3 parts. Normally the first one is the longest, the second one not so long, and the third one is not very long at all. Considering that my laptop is struggling with its memory at the moment, which is just technology and all that. Hey, but anyway, I really enjoyed the Pride of Longbridge. I loved meeting and spending I literally spent about 4 hours talking to people. I think I must have spoken to about 20, 25 different people through, you can imagine, split that between 4 or 5 hours. That's only about 15, 20 minutes each. Some more than others, but honestly, I'm flabbergasted about the amount of people who've come up to me and have said they've watched my channel, they're a subscriber, and I've inspired them to work on their car. And you know what, just to not be intimidated by some things that you may otherwise be quite it's a difficult world to live in sometimes, the car world, and cars do get on top of you. But the idea is that we work towards a day like the Pride of Longbridge, where you can chat to like-minded people and not be afraid to be who you are. I mean, I've seen some amazing videos that have come out the last 12 hours. I think Paul the Roverman, Project Nigel, I think his video was a superb take on the community as a whole, which he has built over the last few years. And I'm just small, and I've got to know a small number of people, but I hope that will change. But at the moment, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I am probably the last person to have put anything out, I suspect. What I've filmed is very generic. I've gone around the whole park, and I've hopefully shown people who've never been to the Pride of Longbridge exactly what you can expect. For those of you who've been, it's not a surprise. It's not something particularly special. My camera work is a bit shaky and all that, but this is the nitty-gritty stuff of usually fixing and tinkering. It is not polished, it is not edited, and I'm quite straight talking, so you don't want to know my opinions half the time. But anyway, I'm going to cut to the chase now and say one thing. The reason that I have not uploaded these videos is not specifically because I've been struggling with my laptop. It is because I discovered this problem this morning. Right, well, good morning to you guys. I am doing a slight update. Apologies if the Pride of Longbridge footage is a bit slow. Unfortunately, my head has been turned by something more imminent. I was meant to take this to Whittle Transport Museum for a ZED register show. Unfortunately, my car decides it doesn't want to start. And I know exactly why that is, because if I just take you round here, unfortunately, I believe the Petron module has failed in a particular way. If I just... it's on. Oh. Well, it would help if I actually press the button. Now, for some reason, it still responds to the button, but... oh, it's stopped cranking. And I can hear absolutely no sign of the fuel pump. I have checked the fuses, all good. Unfortunately, yeah, nothing happens. The intermittent wiper doesn't work, the window doesn't work, nothing works. So yeah. Apart from the fact there is a response from the key, which suggests that just the relays have short-circuited, but I don't know what would cause all them to short circuit. But yeah, this is quite interesting. So I'm going to have to get the whole Petron unit out again, and I'm going to have to send it off. I will actually look at it myself. Alright, hi Paul. I just thought I'd put a video message on this email. Hopefully you managed to open it. I've got this issue in my 45. It's got a Petron unit. It won't start, and I have no idea why it won't start, apart from the fact that I am getting well, I'll put it this way. I'll just show you for a start. So it was working fine yesterday, and we've got this going on. Okay, the sounder's going off, and I press the unlock button, it responds. But when I turn the key, nothing. No crank whatsoever. I have just removed this module, and I have tested the resistance of every single one of them relays exactly as you specify on your website, and they all come out around 220 ohms, which presumably is in spec. So I'm now thinking, what has happened there? As far as I'm concerned, I've double checked quite a few other things, but there's literally, I mean, ignition is on, nothing. It works on the fast and slow, but nothing on the intermittent. And we've got no flashing light, despite the fact the sounder's going off. Is this something else that's gone within the Petron relay? If you could get back to me ASAP, and then we can go from there. But I've done a lot of work to this car, and I pretty much think that this is it. One thing I will say is it was cranking about an hour ago before I took this out. When I've taken it out, before I took it out, I was actually cranking the car. I was actually getting somewhere with cranking it, but I couldn't hear any fuel pump. So it seems to me that the immobilizer is kicking in when it wants. Right, I have just tested the relay, and all the relays are in tolerance, which is such a surprise. They are all in the correct resistance band as before, around 220 ohms. So that is a bit worrying that something else has gone. Literally, that's the only functionality we're getting from the actual Petron unit is the sounder itself, and the key is responding to the sound. It's turning it off, but the immobilizer's stuck on. So there's something going on here that's not right. So I'm going to send it off to Paul of Techno Frozen, who has replaced many relays over the last few years, because they just keep failing. And mine haven't failed, but they're going to be changed anyway because I'm sending it to him. His suggestion after I sent him a video pretty much the same as you guys, was that it looks like this is not de-immobilizing the car. The red light is not on, so it's most likely that area. I have checked the other areas. I've checked a lot of the fuses as well, just to be on the safe side, to make sure, because we've got no crank. I mean, we've got no crank. Well, we've got crank, but we've got no spark, and we've got no fuel. The fuel pump isn't turning on, and there is no spark from at least one spark plug I tested, and that was enough for me to say, well, this is it. There's no spark, there's no fuel, there's a mobilizer issue going on here. Strangely enough, I was concerned that the unit wasn't even powering up. So if that's a break between somewhere and the actual Petron unit, I mean, I've looked at the wiring diagrams and everything, and there's no real fuse, but as such, I've checked the fuses, they're all okay. I've checked all the breakable fuses, the big ones in the fuse box in the engine bay. I've gone over them with some continuity, and all of them have got full continuity. There's no broken fuses, so it's a bit concerning that. I do hope that it is this, because otherwise this is going to be possibly a killer of this car, and I'm not joking. Right, I'll see you in a few days. Please come back and work. I just wanted to add something quite important. Running a YouTube channel, making videos, and then having a car basically crap itself on you is not fun. It isn't fun, and I think it's something a lot of YouTubers do not show people. At this moment in time, I have stripped the body control module out of the car. I have locked the car manually myself, because there is no, well, without that body control module, half the electrics are dead. There is no functionality on this car, basically. The thing is, it's not the only thing that has happened in the last couple of days. In 2 days, this car has gone from working and looking good, and suddenly we have potentially an expensive issue. Potentially it's a stupid repair. It could be something as simple as a little microchip in the body control module, because there is a few chips in there alongside the relays. There could be anything. It could be the circuit boards had a surge and blown through. It's weird. It's very weird, and I hope that it is that has caused this. But ideally, the difficulty with owning an old car is they never come up one at a time. It's always 2 or 3 problems in one go. And I'm going to show you this now, because I was really annoyed when I saw it, and I can't unsee it yet. We have a crack going all the way from the black edge all the way in. This is possibly the original windscreen. I don't think so though, because it's never fitted right. That's my first point, and it leaked from the corner until I sorted it out. Potentially it's a second-hand windscreen. Maybe it was a genuine one that somebody had put on the car. I wasn't happy about this, and I don't know if the camera can show it. Oh yes, it can. Thank you very much, trees. That is a scorch mark because somebody, I don't know, must have happened years ago, where somebody basically didn't have a wiper blade on, or there was nothing left of the rubber, and it kept scoring the glass in this arc. So I was never happy with that. I've got a broken trim here. These trims are about £100 from Rimmer Brothers. Can't get anywhere else. And I've decided I'm not paying for a new one. I'm getting a second-hand one and being very gentle, because all the clips are brand new there. I'm going to change the clips on that side as well. The windscreen will come out and be replaced by another one, but it is, unfortunately, there are so many things to do. I've got the CV boots that need to be done before the grease starts splitting everywhere. That could be a problem, so I've got to get on that. The main priority is getting this Petron system sorted and getting that repaired, and I hope to God it is. I think it is. We've got no fuel, we've got no spark, we have an immobiliser with no LED light. There's no light at all. The immobiliser will let me start the car, crank the car for about 5 seconds, and it cuts out. Nothing works. No, there is no functionality with everything that body control module controls. There's no functionality. Nothing works. I'm hoping that there is power going to it, because the sounder is actually working. As you've seen in that video, the sounder was going off, and it did respond to me pressing the unlock button and allowing me to crank the car. So that makes me think that whatever's going on, it's not just possibly an intermittent immobiliser. I really do hope it's not something severe, because I've had a car where I've had broken wires before, and that's just that would be a big job, and I would have to consider my options, because I'd have to literally strip the car for a new wiring loom and find out where that wire is, or just guess and spend a fortune doing it. There's a lot of things going through my head at the moment. That does not help at all. That came first, and then that started. So I don't know what the third problem is going to be, but no doubt I'm going to just leave this car now. I am not going to touch it. It's immobilised on the driveway. I'm just not going to touch it, and quite frankly, I am not in a very good mood today. So, you know, forgive that I haven't gone into much detail over this video, but, you know, it's just annoying. It's really annoying. I have secured a windscreen. It will not be the original windscreen, and there's a good reason for that. The only place I can get a correct windscreen for this car is from Rimmer Brothers, and they want £450. I am not paying that sort of money. So it's as simple as this. I will go aftermarket. And the aftermarket ones, there is one readily available that was fitted to the early Rover 45s, and that is the shaded green tint. If you have a Rover 45, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a cool feature. It is a feature on a lot of late 80s, 90s cars. The Rover 45s had it early on, and then they changed it to this all tinted window without the green tint. I think it'll be a nice subtle modification, and for £100 you cannot argue. I am not going to Rimmer Brothers for the sake of a bit of originality. Let's go for a little subtle modification. So that's a plus point about all this. But overall, until I find out what's wrong with that, I can't buy anything. I can't invest in anything, because quite frankly, that is a serious issue that's happened today. I really do hope it is, and I think it is, but I can't. Unfortunately, it's going to be a bit on the ropes. There's going to be a lot of Ford Focus videos coming out very soon, which I have already done, and put it this way, it went very well. So there's a lot of Focus Mark 1 videos to come out. Rover 45 videos, I've already done some. So continuity wise, you know, things could get a bit mixed up, but I have done some specific videos on this car, on especially a one where I speak about, is a Mark II 45 that bad? Well, this is typically, I've had so many common issues with this car, it's untrue. From the door handles, the headlining, head gasket, bad headlights, broken vet, you name it, and I've done it. And I'm afraid this is one that has properly gone on me. So I've got to go down through the motions, and hopefully I can send it off, and the Paul of Techno Frozen is going to look at it. He has done many of these before, and he's got all the tools. He will know if there is something really bad with that Petron unit. Please, I hope to God he comes back and says, yes, it's dreadful, I've repaired it, and not, there's nothing wrong with it, because then I'm stuck. I'm really stuck, and it's not a good place to be. So forgive the fact that this video is a short update. I will put this out on the same day that I made it, for reality wise, but I'm not in a great place. So hopefully you understand if I've been a bit busy recently and not replied to messages. I have seen your messages, but I haven't got around to responding to a lot of them, because quite frankly, I like to respond to my messages with a good heart and enthusiasm, and unfortunately I've lost that in the last few days. I will try and pick it back up, but this is the reality of owning a car, and I really think this is important, that as a YouTuber I show that there's a lot of things YouTubers don't show you, because we really do have bad days like every other person who owns an older car. It's you've been there, but when you have a YouTube channel and the expectation, the growing expectation of videos and content, that is really not on my mind. This is on my mind. So I really hope you understand this video, but hopefully things are going to look up. We enjoyed ourselves at the Pride of Longbridge. Beatrix got more attention than I ever thought, for someone who, quite frankly, it's a tiny little channel, and I'm so blessed by all the people that came to me and said that I have inspired them, and I've kind of debunked the myth of working on your car and having the confidence to work on your car. And my job is to show the reality of it, and it's not just the good side, the successful side, where I do a job, I successfully completed, and we move on to the next job. This happens. This is the sort of stuff that happens with older cars, no matter how reliable they are. Touch wood on the Focus, but this happens. It really does. And it doesn't take the shine off the fact that the day was absolutely amazing, and it's possibly one motivator that's going to get me through this little really bad phase with the car, where we've just had some expensive problems potentially that have just appeared one day after the other. So I'm definitely going to need that going forwards. But honestly, it was amazing meeting so many of you, and onwards and upwards really.